Welcome, everyone. As you are starting to enter into our LASO Learning Acceleration Support Opportunities Cycle 3 General Webinar, we're going to give a few minutes for everyone to join us as they are coming in. We will begin at 10:02, allowing everyone to join us and get settled. Thank you for joining us. Okay, it is 10:02. Welcome. Thank you for being here and taking time out of your morning. We're very excited about our LASO Cycle 3, and we are proud to be able to share it with you this morning. This is the first of 2 general webinars that we are hosting to share an overview of our Learning Acceleration Support Opportunities, affectionately known as LASO Cycle 3. Hello, my name is Dr. Donna Weigert. I am the manager here in the Integrated District Supports Division, part of the Department of System Innovation in the Office of Educator Support. I am here to manage LASO and to connect LEAs with the internal teams that are comprised of LASO. Is one of my many hats, but I'm proud to be able to share with you our newest iteration of LASO. Okay, so this is our agenda and what we will be presenting you today. We have an overview of the LASO Cycle 3 grants, the application process and timelines, and the next steps for applying. Please note some FYIs. We will be gathering all of your questions and answering them in the Q&A feature in Zoom. So please drop in your questions as it will be answered there. We will gather all of your questions and the answers and publish an FAQ document along with a copy of this recording and the deck presented, expected to be completed and posted on our LASO 3 webpage Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. Please email laso@tea.texas.gov with any follow-up questions that you may have. Without further ado, here is our overview of LASO Cycle 3 grants. We have one application, one consolidated application that includes 11 TEA initiatives to support learning, acceleration, and innovation in an estimated grant package of $160 million that we will be awarding. The Learning Acceleration Support Opportunities, LASO Cycle 3, is a consolidated grant application that supports learning and acceleration in a batch form and uses 3 of 5 instructional strategies. These strategies noted here are curriculum and instruction, more time, and innovative school models. And you will see these 3 strategies throughout this presentation as it organizes our grants in a meaningful way. So here is the collection of grants that are offered. As you can see, the curriculum and instruction has seven individual grants. More time has Two, one of them is embedded in the School Action Fund as part of our innovative school models as a choice. And then also early college, high school, and P-TECH will round up our innovative school models. We have two new additions as we're embedding school improvement supports as separate grants within our portfolio. Strong Foundation Implementation School Improvement, PLC supports, and instructional leadership. These are for federally identified in 2024 and Title I serving. Here is our complete portfolio. And as I'm talking, please feel free to look through. I will not read each line item, but you will see that all 11 grants are separated into the 3 instructional strategies. And this gives an overview of our funding estimated grant portfolio, where it encompasses $160 million of variety of sources of funds across a lot of LEAs, tentative number of awardees, and then also the tentative award ranges are also depicted here. This is the same look, but with more focus on the overview or the definition of each of the grant offerings. So you will see a high level overview, just the gist of what each grant, their purpose is, and what they hope to accomplish within your implementation of their grant. This information is also found in a couple other resources that I will be sharing in our presentation further on. So along with our bundles, our grant offering, we're also offering 3 curriculum and instructional bundles. So think of it in terms of OER pathway. So that is the open education resources that begins with our Strong Foundations Implementation Grant. Then if you are a federally identified or Title I campus and would like additional supports for school improvement, you would then also apply for the School Improvement PLC grant, considered like an add-on to the OER SFI grant, but with additional support. If you're looking for a non-OER path, you are looking at the Instructional Leadership Grant. Then also you can apply for the School Action Fund grant if you'd like more school model support. So here is a very busy slide. It is where we are looking at the strategic bundling of complementary supports and services. So similar to the previous slide, it is showing you a timeline of the involvement of our grant offerings. So in year 24-25 and before, we had several separate endeavors: Strong Foundation Planning, Effective District Framework, and Effective School Framework, LASO Readiness, MTSS, Multi-Tiered System of Support and Tier. We pulled all that into LASO. So each of these grant bundles are independently functioning, which means that if you're looking at the pathways and you are choosing the OER pathway, that does not mean choosing this affords you an award of all 3. These are 3 separate grants. There is the SFI Year 1, and then there's also SAF as support for OER products. And then SFI SIPLC is an independent grant, but in order to qualify for this, you need to also apply and be awarded SFI. So this also shows the non-OER path, which is the instructional leadership path or another instructional materials. And then this has 3 different choices of offerings. So there is pathway with product and instructional leadership year 1, and then also total instructional leadership. And then also instructional leadership year 1 is observation feedback, and year 2 is data-driven instruction, DDI. So just note that the asterisks noted in SAF and also instructional leadership are only eligible for Title I and federally identified campuses. And then if a campus applies to multiple grants within the C&I bundle, interviews will be conducted to determine the best fit of grants. Here is a look at what is the best fit for me. So if we look at the pathway, the OER pathway, and you are looking to adopt OER curriculum, then you begin with a Strong Foundations portfolio, if you will, the Strong Foundations Implementation Grant. If you're looking for adopting OER curriculum and school improvement supports, then you would apply to both the Strong Foundations Implementation Grant and the SFI School Improvement PLC Grant. If you're looking to adopt OER curriculum and school improvement supports and school model supports, then you can apply for Strong Foundations Implementation, the SFI School Improvement PLC, as well as School Action Fund. And then noted again, if an LEA decides to apply to multiple grants in the CNI bundle, interviews will be conducted to determine the best fit of grants and also to eliminate any redundant supports. If you're choosing the non-OER instructional support and you're a federally identified campus and Title I funded, then you will look at the instructional leadership pathway. This gives you all the supports that you need in 3 different choices of packages. If you are looking for the non-OER instructional leadership support and school model support, then you can apply for the instructional leadership and school action fund. Again, interviews will be conducted to determine the best fit of grants and that the supports are meaningful for you. So now let's look at the overview of timeline and resources. So here is it in a nutshell. The LASO grant opens on October 14th, and we'll share out how that application will be available to you in a future slide. In November, we will gather all of the FAQs from the program webinars and publish it. The FAQs for the general webinars will be posted the next week, but then we also have a plethora of program webinars, and that will constitute the November FAQs, that all of that will be together. The application closes on December 13th at 5 p.m. Central Time. In January, that is where our TEA will score applications and conduct interviews with all of you if it's applicable and necessary to determine the award. In February, tentatively scheduled for February 20th, we will announce the awards for the LASO Cycle 3 Grant Award. You will have a time to accept the award in eGrants, about 30 days. So we're saying by March 24th, and all directions will be given in your notice of award letter, how to do this, how to process it. In addition, we'll have office hours that will guide you through the eGrants process. And then you must complete this before the notice of grant award is issued. And that time frame takes us between March and May. May 24th is when we anticipate the notice of grant awards, affectionately known as NOGAs, will be disseminated. Here is a little bit more about what we have done, what we're providing in this LASO 3 consolidated grant application. Our vision and purpose, we are continuing to offer a streamlined grant consolidated application and focused on just a few grant programs to be able to deliver support to help you all accelerate academic gains, promote LEA's strategic prioritization and decision making. And then the consolidated grant application lowers the lift on the LEAs by using a single user-friendly program application. And we will continue offering the LASO iterations. We're excited to hopefully be able to present in the future a one system that has more grant offerings, and more information to that is to follow in a different time. So back to this application format, again, it's one Qualtrics application that is continued to be anchored in 3 of 5 learning acceleration strategies. In addition to that, we are offering still comprehensive application support to all of you through 2 general webinars, 22 program webinars, and 20 plus office hours. So each program will have their own office hours, and then we'll also strategically schedule application and technical assistance office hours for you to join after the application has opened and you've had time to look at the application and gather some questions that you would like support for. In our continuous improvement lens and wanting to improve our support for you, we are reinforcing the most effective practices in that our application window is considerate of LEA's timing. It has increased from 45 days to 60 days, still maintaining that district-friendly timeline of October 14th through December 13th. So starting after school has a chance to start, your support teams have gathered to determine what your goals are and how to align these grant offerings now to you is another consideration, and closing before holiday break. We have created additional resources to help you in your decision-making process, and I'll go into those individually and more fully later on. We have the grant-specific one-pager, continuing that, but we also, in the spirit of improvement, have added 2 new sections to help guide your decision-making process. One of those is the best fit guidance. It's its own doc, but we have it also embedded in the grant specific one pager. And then very new this year is the eligibility and prioritization guidance one pager. Here's a look at those resources. So first and foremost, the LASO 3 website is your one-stop shop for all information, and it is iterative, so it grows as needs grow, as input is received, and it will grow with this LASO Cycle 3 offering as well. Right now, you'll see that we have, this is an old screenshot, so we have a countdown because we're very excited to be able to share out our newest iteration of LASO 3. And this shows you the funding and the application bundles here. And these are some buttons to quickly send you to the next steps in the LASO 3 website, where you can find more information, roadmaps of communication, links to resources, and more. And it will grow with a more in-depth look at the grant offerings. And then also we have the grant overview one pager that is all grants in one document, one running document. And we've included the 2 items, as I promised before, the best fit. So, and I will go into a little bit more of that in the next slide, and also some do it now considerations. So if there's anything, information that you need to gather, product information, questions that you need to submit, considerations to be awarded, anything like that, there will be a do it now consideration section in the one pager. So please take note of that. And then also the program guidelines that are not published until our grant opens, expected to be, it's actually October 14th, not 23rd. So excuse the error in that. But this is going to give you the more in-depth look at each grant offering as a separate PDF that is linked to our website. So currently we do have the one pager that is linked. So you may be able to look at it, download it, use it for decision making and consideration. Here's a look at some new items that are available. We do have the best fit guidance that gives you an overview of the portfolio, but then dissects into the question, like what if I am looking for high quality professional learning, for instance, which grants are best for me? And so this is where you're going to have a really high level overview, and then looking at considerations or guidance into, is this grant a good fit for my district? So that is a document that's available on the website. And then we also took the FAQs from LASO Cycle 2 and truncated and revised it for LASO Cycle 3. So these questions do pertain to LASO Cycle 3. And it's another way to look at what questions have been asked multiple times and what are the answers to those questions to, again, be able to consider what grant should I apply for. And then our next newest endeavor is this eligibility and prioritization guidance. So this is the elements of awarding criteria in terms of eligibility and then also prioritization. So this takes 2 different views. One is by grant. You can look at if I'm eligible to be awarded, and then also what is the prioritization given to me in terms of being able to be awarded in this. Striving to answer that question, what is the likelihood of me and my district being awarded? The very last page of this running document is a prioritization matrix. So taking the top 4 prioritization categories and then sharing out which grants do belong in each one. So if I'm a rural district, these are all that I would have prioritization for. So this is again another hopefully transparent look into how the grants are offered and awarded to give you the most information that we can provide at this time. This is something that is forthcoming and it will be published on our October 14th launch date. This is the SAPL list, the State Approved Provider List. There are several grants that do require you to pick a provider. So these are everything in one doc. So you will have it by provider and which grants they apply for, and then also a detailed page information on the providers themselves. So will be linked in our LASO 3 webpage, and also there is a SAPL website that's linked on our LASO 3 website too. So here's an overview of the application process. So we looked at the grants, we looked at the bundles, we looked at possibly the awarding criteria and an overview. Now, what does the application look like, and what are some key things that I need to know? First, this is a screenshot of a template of the application. So you would then choose the region that you are served through, and then click on this drop down that lists all the LEAs that are listed here. Another key component is the contact information. You will be asked to enter in your contact information for the person that's filling out this application, that's beginning this application. We do realize that multiple people may be filling out this application at the same time, which is fine. The application link that is sent to the superintendents on October 14th can be shared out. We will accept only one application from each LEA, but you are able to revise it as many times, and then we will accept the very last application. For that application to be accepted, we do need the superintendent's information and signature. So that is noted in 2 different places. The first screen where you are entering in the person who's starting the application is filling it out, and this is the contact information. So if there's any questions, concerns during the interview phase, then this is where we would go to contact you. And then also some of the applications have that information within it. So there's a couple different places for you to enter that information. These are all mandatory fields. You have to have your name, title, and email for you to be able to continue. And at the bottom of each of the screens, you'll have a save and submit. That is when your application information is saved. If you exit it in the middle of it, it may not be saved, but we've designed it a little bit better and more intentional with smaller chunks of information. So it's a quicker application per page in that consolidated form. So here's another key component. So when you get to the summary of grant page, it will give you a link to that one pager. So you don't have to leave the application to go find the information, say, what is Blended Learning Grant all about? You would be able to click on the one pager, and then it will pop up in a new screen next to your application. And then also, this is where you are going to choose the grants to which you would like to apply to. So we recommend that you take all the resources that we've provided that's posted on our LASO 3 website, look at your needs, priorities, internal capacity, and apply to the best fitting grant programs in service of meeting your LEA's needs. So as you click on each one of these, it will populate your application. So you would click to the ones that you are considering and then save and next, and then your application will begin. If you, after you've submitted, decide, oh wait, I really do want to apply for Technology Lending Grant, TLG, you can request a retake link to be able to go back in, and you will have to submit it again. And then the last application received, signed by the superintendent, is the one that we will accept as your final submission. And then in closing, so again, we said that submission of this application requires a superintendent signature. We do recognize and realize there are sometimes extenuating circumstances where the superintendent is not present and you still would like to apply by the deadline. And by that deadline, we mean December 13th at 5 p.m. We cannot accept because this is a competitive grant. We will not be able to accept any application past that point and that central time. So you have an option to click on yes or no. If you click no, then it will prompt you, have you reached out to LASO at tea.texas.gov with this information? So if the superintendent is not available, we will consider a grantee official as being one who would be able to submit, and we will give you directions. You would then come back to this and say, no, but you have approval to continue. So considering if you were a superintendent, you would then fill out this information again, the superintendent's name and email for the district that you're applying for. And then once you have submitted this application, you will see a confirmation of the submission in a thank you for the survey. And then also you have the opportunity to not only to view it in that sitting, but to be able to download a PDF of your application. So you will have confirmation that you've applied and as well as a copy of the application you just submitted. So these are areas actually I addressed previously in terms of if you're not a superintendent, but you will have to be noted as a grantee official in Teal. So before you decide to sign on behalf of the superintendent, make sure that you are noted as a grantee official in Teal. So again, we want to reiterate that the applications are due by December 13th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And in order to access that application, on October 14th, superintendents will be sent a unique application link. It is generated by Qualtrics. We don't generate it. And there is a unique link for each superintendent. We gather the superintendent's contact information from AskTed. So it is on our request and the LEA's responsibility to make sure that the information noted in AskTed is up to date and accurate, as this is where we are gathering the contact information, the email to which to send the unique application link. If for some reason you don't receive that link, sometimes it goes to spam, sometimes there is a last minute superintendent change, you can request an application link that will be posted on the LASO 3 website on October 14th. This link is also to request a new link to revise your application. When you do get that link, and it will be emailed to you, it is not to revise your current application. You will have to submit a new one. And again, only the last submitted, signed by superintendent application will be considered as your final award. And then again, the PDF of the application, so the blank PDF of the application will be available on the LASO 3 website at that top bar as a way to look through the grants ahead of time, but this is not the official application and cannot be accepted as such. You still do need to apply through Qualtrics, but we've had requests for a copy of the application as you go through it or as a planning measure to be able to decide on which grants with your teams before you decide to open the Qualtrics application and proceed. Again, applications must be signed by the superintendent in order to be accepted. So let's talk about next steps. So one of the things to note is change requests and declines in LASO. So all of the LASO grants have had that criteria that since this is now an informal discretionary competitive grant process, we cannot accept declines or change requests beyond the e-grants due date of March 24th. That is tentative. It's 30 days from when you've received your notice of award, the letter notification from LASO that you've been awarded these grants. You will also receive in that letter notification directions to go into eGrants, to accept your application through a process and submit your budget workbook. Once you submit that, and that again has to be signed by a grantee official, superintendent of the district, then it begins the process of review, negotiation, and that can take about 60 days. So in terms of that, beyond that March 24th date, once you've submitted, we cannot go back and decline. So please take note, this is your opportunity to look at what you are awarded in and which ones to accept. And eGrants, you will have the opportunity to accept the award or not accept the award. And we do realize that there is extenuating circumstances. So if there is a need to decline, that is at a very high level case-to-case basis, but just note that by doing so, it could raise the LAA's federal grant risk in the coming year. So in the prior years of T-class, when it was a very different grant and our first attempt at consolidation, we did accept declines, but LASO iterations do not. So here's another snapshot of what is available now and what you could be doing until October 14th when we open our application. Noting that the application window is October 14th through December 13th, 5 p.m. Central Time. There are 2 general webinars today and on October 13th. And then we give you about a week or so to get acclimated to the grants. And then the program webinars will start. Each grant program listed in our grant portfolio and part of LASO 3 will host 2 webinars for you to attend. They're both identical. You don't have to attend both. And then a copy of that program webinar and will be posted on the LASO 3 website within 1 week of the webinar. And the FAQs will be collected through all of the program webinars, and then it will be uploaded into a fresh new FAQ doc. We will also ask for any questions that you may have, even from today, to be sent to LASO inbox, laso@tea.texas.gov, and we're going to gather all the questions and answers that may have been submitted today or acknowledged today, and that will be part of the FAQ document. So you have a way to go back and review what has been answered and asked and answered, and also to ask additional questions. So that period is November 1st through November 13th, and November 13th is when we will post the FAQ document. So what can you do at this point? So your next steps are to look at the LASO 3 website, visit it, gather the information there. The documents that I shared today, the grant one-pager, the FAQ from LASO 2, the eligibility and prioritization are already posted, so you may grab those and review them. What is not posted is the program guidelines, individual ones for each grant that will be posted on October 14th, as well as the SAPL list, state approved provider list. Those will all be uploaded and posted the date of the application opening. And then please feel free to communicate and share all this information with your LEA internal teams. We do recommend gathering a team together to decide which grants meet your LEA's needs and align to your goals for school improvement, for student outcome improvement, and then also make those decisions prior to the grant application opening. You may register for our upcoming informational webinars. Those are also posted live on the LASO 3 website. And when you click on a grant, you will be sent to the registration page for that grant. Office hours are not posted yet. Those will be posted after the grant opens, and you can also register for those as well. And then so in summary of the resources that are available that are also linked on our LASO 3 website are the best fit guidance document, the grant one-pagers, the FAQs from LASO Cycle 2, and the eligibility and prioritization guidance doc. Remembering that our LASO 3 website is a one-stop shop for all information for LASO 3. So anything that is new and changing will be noted there. We do have the countdown, but we'll also add a box with new links as you need them. Like for instance, the PDF of the application will be attached there. The retake link request will be added there on the date of the grant opening. And this is where I will pause and share out the program's lead contact information. So these are all the grants again that is part of LASO 3 and the initiative leads that are over the program. So feel free to reach out to them or to submit your request to LASO at tea.texas.gov, knowing that this is a competitive grant process and we are in a no-talk phase. We cannot entertain or ask individual questions. We can provide the resources such as FAQ document or one pager where your answer may be contained. And if we don't have an answer for you, we will collect it and post it within our FAQ document. But this is a resource in terms of the contact information that will be shared out and is posted on our website and will be posted and updated accordingly. But we wanted you to be able to know who is going to be over your program and remembering that within LASO 3 as a consolidated grant application and offering, there are 11 separate individually managed grants that are have unique and similar assurances and requirements that you need to consider as one of the areas to note if this is a good fit for you. So please review the resources that we do have at hand. And I may have talked really fast or not given you all enough wait time, but this does conclude our general webinar. So if you have any additional questions, we're going to give you that opportunity to put them in the Q&A section, and also we will answer them as we can, and then also grab all of your questions and the answers. If it has not been answered during this time, rest assured it will be by the time it is posted. Some of the questions that you may have answered, we do have to reach back to the program leads specifically to gather that information, but we will have it ready for you in our FAQ doc, estimated to be published on Tuesday, October 8th. We thank you very much for joining us today. We thank you for your interest in LASO Cycle 3 grant opportunity, and we hope to be able to engage with you within one or many of these grants in the coming year.